institutions. When we were students, we were very scared of principals, often terrified. I'm sure you too were. And one day you were also students, of course. You couldn't have jumped to the role of principal without being there. But let me say, Gaurav, that what you're doing is fantastic, because I was in Kolkata as well, and I believe Sudhir was also there in Kolkata. So he follows me. That's the batting order, you see. I'm the opening batsman, he's the one down. And then we'll see in some other place where you can go first and I'll go second. But the theme is common. And Kolkata was a very engaging discussion. I'm sure we'll have a time for some interaction before I close. I have been slotted 30 minutes. One thing I can assure you that the word which P.G. Woodhouse uses, ennui will not come into play. And the English teachers know this very well. Other teachers may or may not, because it's not their subject. Boredom will not come in. Boredom will not come. That I can assure you. And I'll start with a story. The story is about distraction. And we are on AI versus HI, which is artificial intelligence and human intelligence. But I'd like to talk about distraction because it is important. Where is our mind today? Where are our mindsets? Are they in the present, in the future, in the past? Are they in this hall? Are they elsewhere? A little while ago, they could have been elsewhere. Now you're listening to me, hopefully they are here. But they will wander. So there was this lady who missed her flight. And she was to go to Bombay for a meeting. And she was in Delhi. And the airport was crowded, and whatever, the traffic was too much. She missed her flight. She has to call up Bombay and tell them that I'm late and I'll come by the next flight. And the boss was not very happy. He shouted at her, which bosses often do. And the lady boss. So this lady was a little obviously disturbed, cut up, not looking forward to the day, but sits down resigned with a book and starts reading. And she's bought a packet of cookies to keep herself company, her favorite cookies, which could be hobnob. Is hobnob a cookie? What are we doing today? We're also hobnobbing, which means meeting each other. So she has these cookies over there, and she starts reading the book, and there's a man sitting next to her who opens the packet of biscuits and eats one. So now this lady is already fuming, to put it mildly, and this man is irritating her by eating her biscuits. Now I want to ask you a quiz question. How many cookies are there in one packet, typically? 12? 10? 10 to 12? 1? No, there are 10 to 12, but could they be 13? Could it be an odd number? Or is it an even number? You don't know. We don't know. We never count. So what happens is that he eats one biscuit and she decides to keep her cool. She thinks he may be mistaken. So let me prove my jurisdiction, as the legals will say. Let me prove my jurisdiction and eat one cookie to prove that this is my packet and not your packet. Simple. So she eats the next one. But he eats the next one. And he's got men are very irritating at times. They can be. And this could be a woman this side and a man that side. There's no gender bias at all. I am one who speaks on gender parity, diversity, so don't accuse me of that, please. The thing is that she eats the next one, he eats the next one, she eats the next one, he eats the next one. She decides that she will not say anything. जिसको बोलते हैं हिंदी में दांत पीस के, Gaurava knows this one. Gritting her teeth, grinding her teeth, but not saying anything. And the man, light smile on his face, is also merrily eating one of. He's probably happy to be sharing a packet of cookies with a charming lady. Now this lady finally finds that one cookie is left. She wonders, now what will he do? It's his turn. His turn, and he breaks it into two, gives her half and eats. So the climax always anti-climax. But the thing is that she decides still not to say anything. She somehow feels maybe it's my good deed of the day that I've fed this man half my packet. And now the flight is announced. And she goes to her boarding gate. And this was the olden time when the boarding pass was a paper boarding pass. Even yesterday when the Microsoft outage took place, there were paper boarding passes. And some of us were flying. So I am a speaker and the mic is my best friend. But sometimes the mic is a treacherous friend. Treacherous friend can give way. It can not give way, it can let you down. Now what happens? She opens the purse to take out her boarding pass and finds that the packet of cookies is in her purse. She had been eating his biscuits. So now you go back and rewind and look at the man and look at the lady. So are we distracted because of whatever reason? So are we living in the present or not? Now these are human errors, but the Microsoft outage is not a human error. It's the error of AI. Was it worse? What was worse out of the 2 episodes? This was not a very serious matter. Cookies, but that is cookies. Do you accept cookies when they come on the website, by the way? Different type of cookie. You don't? Very dangerous, huh? It's not dangerous, by the way. Don't worry about it. The website has to be trusted when the cookies can be trusted. So I was director of IT. I was in the government. Dhruv was introducing me. You may have heard the letters, 3 letters, IAS, galti se ho gaya. And I was there. And I resigned. When I was in government, AI, IT was just coming up in 2000. I was director of IT. And then later when I left, it was 2017. And it was really, AI was not really AI, it was IT. We used to call it e-governance. Now we call it digital governance. The thing is that technology is unstoppable. Does anyone have a chip in the wrist? Not the packet of chips for Lay's wala nahi. Chip electronics engineer. I'm an electronics engineer. So engineers will conspire to insert a chip in your wrist before the decade is out. Not this decade, sorry, maybe next decade. Don't be scared. The thing is to not be scared of AI. Sudhir, no? Sudhir will tell you certain other things about AI after this. But the thing is not to be scared. AI and HI can coexist. We've been coexisting with computers for the last, 40, 50 years now. How many of you remember COBOL? COBOL, you remember, no? How many of you remember the Y2K bug? Right? What is Y2K? Year 2000. India was supposed to save the world from Microsoft type outages. I'm sorry, bad word ho gaya, Microsoft. The thing that happened was that they thought because of COBOL, which was I am also an engineer, you are an engineer? Achha, but you know. So COBOL could not recognize the year 2000 because 2 digits were involved. So after 99, it would go to 00. And therefore, it might consider the year to be 1900. And the whole world was supposed to collapse. But it didn't. However, India made a packet out of tackling the Y2K bug. Indian IT companies suddenly became very prosperous, and the birth of Indian IT was actually due to the Y2K bug. Birth means the surge. It also came when websites started coming, then .com bust. You know, remember the .com bust? And then came the revival and then broadband, etc. Where are we today? Today we live with Alexa. Yes? Ma'am is nodding very vigorously. Try and ask Alexa once, how are you feeling today, Alexa? Have you ever asked Alexa that? Huh? What does she say? She says, amazing. She gives a long answer. Try it next time. She gives a long answer and she's practiced that answer. But she can't give a different answer. And how are you feeling today if I ask you tomorrow, can you give a different answer? Of course you can. Human beings are superior to Alexa. Alexa is not calling you, human, do this for me. Are they doing that? Not yet, huh? Not yet. Not yet. But in the future, if we have a chip in the wrist, we become semi-Alexa. Scary thought, no? But can we retain the human element? So I have a TEDx talk on this topic which has not yet come out. It's going to come. It's in TEDx. It's in TEDx Goa, Bitspilani campus, Goa. It will come out. Then I'll share it with everyone. Same topic. Can we retain the humanity, the humaneness, the human element, human emotions like the introduction said, while becoming increasingly automated in our lifestyles? The phone will be in our wrist. Something will be in our retina. We will be semi-automated, but we will hopefully still have a heart. Now, some people might say that the heart also has a pacemaker. Some people have pacemakers for the last 15 years. I know them. I know one person. So he's got a gadget in his heart. Some people, when they have fractures, they have metal rods in their bodies. So we are not, anyway, what we are eating is also, we don't know what we are eating. Cookies also, processed. So in any case, we are not perfect. Anybody here who's perfect? See, when I ask 18-year-olds this question, I'm very scared. One of them may raise their hand, till today not happened. Sir, I'm perfect, sir. Acha, how? If I ask you the capital of Ethiopia, will you tell me? GK is a little low nowadays, no? I'm not asking you the capital of Ethiopia, but it's okay. The point being that, can we retain our superiority and do we need to be scared? Now, these are the 2 points on the table. Can we retain our superiority over AI? Can AI remain an enabler, facilitator, helper? I don't want to use the word servant, but can it be our assistant? There is something known as Google Assistant, which insists on popping up. We don't need it. Well, I thought blank it out. But it says, please use Google Assistant. Please use, what is that? Sorry if there's a brand issue, Dotty. Some Dotty comes up in one of the sites. IRCTC? Very irritating. When I want to click pay, Dotty is there. Dotty opens up. So we don't want that. Now, I as a human being need to be on the ball, on top of my game. But we don't need to know what is inside this gadget. How does it work? Do you need to know that? You need to be a good user. I'll tell you a very simple joke which occurred a few decades ago. The man of the house or the lady of the house took, instead of the new mobile phone which had just started, the TV remote to office and left the mobile phone at home. Picked up the TV remote galti se and took it to office. Now the landline is calling or the mobile is calling and saying and everybody's got a chutti except him and they want to watch the TV and without the remote. So we are basically living with this kind of technology for the past few decades. If a robot walks in and gives a motivational speech, we can still survive it. I would like to see the robot giving a motivational speech and making you laugh also. Okay, let me prove my superiority to the robot with a story. This is a story which highlights why human beings have qualities which cannot be surmounted by AI. Which cannot be surmounted by AI. There was, and I told this story in Kolkata, there was a very famous piano player, composer, piano expert in Poland named Mr. Pedrewski. Anyone who heard of this story? Pedrewski and the piano? Okay, good. If you want to keep a password, by the way, next time, a Polish name would be a good password. The only problem is you might forget it yourself. Don't write down your password in your notebook, by the way. Some people do that. They put the password somewhere else. Don't do that. Remember. Somehow remember it. One day my bank made me remember an impossible password. I was so scared of it. Look at this, exclamation mark, this, then underscore, then this and that. What rubbish. Now, Mr. Pedrevsky is about to come on the stage. 500 people are in the concert hall. He is a maestro, fantastic musician. People go gaga. And there's this young lady who comes in, who brings a 6-year-old child with her. I'm feeling a bit nervous because all my jokes are about the lady. I've got some about men also, okay? Now this lady comes in and sits somewhere in the middle row with her 6-year-old child. The curtain is still drawn. And the piano is there, but nobody can see the piano. Pedrevsky is about to come, the curtain is about to open. This lady cannot afford to miss the concert. She's a big fan, right? Now, the problem is that children below 12 are not allowed. She walks in quietly, smuggles the child. She knows children below 12 are not allowed. But nobody spots her. And, in Poland, you don't have so many ushers and people around, One person is there, that's it. India, we have 24 people at every event. Now, the lady sits down and tells the child to be quiet. Very important qualities to be observed. She says, listen, I have a friend there sitting 2 rows ahead. I'll just meet my friend. You don't move from here. I'm coming back. Now, first you want to smuggle the child and second you want to meet your friend also. But friends are friends. Go and say hello, come back. She goes to say hello to the friend. The child runs away. Now, the child is not interested in Mr. Pedrevsky. He wanted to play at home with his friend and she brought him zabardasti because can't leave the child at home. Now, Mr. Pedrevsky walks onto the stage at that very moment. The child has already run and found the piano with a sign saying no entry where that fire exit is written. He goes and finds himself on the stage and starts playing ting, ting, ting on the piano before Pedrevsky arrives. Naughty. We should be naughty at 5. We were talking about it, fearlessness of children. 5 to 6-year-old boy doesn't want to come but finds the piano, starts playing. Pedrevsky walks onto the stage, the curtain opens, the mother comes back to the seat. The mother finds that the child is not there. She's quite horrified. She turns around and finds that my child is playing the piano which Mr. Pedrevsky is supposed to play on the stage and 500 people are watching. The word is mortified. She's mortified. First they would have arrested me, first they would have thrown me out, now they will arrest me. Right? She turns around, she's gasping for breath and the child is just having a gala time. Ting, ting, he doesn't know how to play the piano. Mr. Pedrevsky walks on and finds a child playing the piano. Now Mr. Pedrevsky's test comes. Whether you are Mahatma Gandhi or whether you are Virat Kohli, sorry to come from Mahatma Gandhi to Virat Kohli, but however famous you are, you can be tested. 500 people are watching. What will Pedrevsky do now? You often feel like that, like the principal when you're the principal and the school is watching. How does the principal conduct himself or herself? Pedrevsky finds a child playing the piano. First option he has is to lose his temper. Normally, a celebrity, a big man, famous lady, whoever, can lose temper. And nobody would feel odd about it. You say, call the ushers, what is this child doing here? Get out from here and whatever. I am Pedrevsky, I have come to perform. They've come to watch me perform. And who is this child? Second option. Bring another stool. The child is sitting on his stool. Bring one more stool. That second stool comes and Pedrevsky starts playing with the child and improvises the concert. Forgets the original plan and plays a new set of tunes. The child doesn't stop. Sometimes, there's a word, just goes, just an obsession the child has, doesn't stop. Fitur, passion. And Pedrevsky starts playing along with the child. And the crowd is mesmerized. Just like you listening to me in rapt attention now. They listen to him in rapt attention for 90 minutes. And they are, we can say in Sanskrit, mantra mugdh. They don't know what is happening today. Even higher level of music than ever before. Playing a jugalbandi with the child. And the mother, watching her emotions go from one end of the spectrum to another end of the spectrum. At the end of the concert, the applause is so loud, the mother becomes a celebrity. The child becomes a celebrity. And Mr. Pedrevsky becomes a bigger, greater celebrity than ever before. So we clap for Pedrevsky now. We clap for Pedrevsky. Little louder. See, Pedrevsky became the president or prime minister of Poland after that. Not because of this episode, but you can see the qualities of head and heart. Does AI have qualities of head and heart? Maybe head, not heart. Now, what are the qualities that Pedrevsky exhibited here, principals of various schools? Please tell me. Empathy, compassion, emotion, okay, yeah. Spontaneity. Now you stop, ma'am. Yes? Improvisation. All these 4-5 things he showed. One big quality which is the mother quality of all these. What is that? Patience, not so much because he came and he had to take a decision. Not patience. Humility. Humility, humbleness. If you think too much of yourself, can you afford to do this? No. So, however great we become, who heard the story of Dilip Kumar and Mr. Tata? Tell me that. Raise your hands. No, okay. So, Dilip Kumar was a superstar actor. And Dilip Kumar was very famous and he was on a flight and Mr. Tata was sitting next to him. He didn't know that this is Mr. Tata. Mr. Tata didn't know that this is Dilip Kumar. Those were not the days of Instagram. In any case, they were senior people, both of them. The whole flight was taking his autograph one by one. Dilip Kumar's autograph. Tata is in the window seat, he is in the aisle seat, two-seater. The air hostess is coming, the co-pilot is coming, pilot is also coming one by one, of course, and they're taking the autograph. And what happens? Tata is not bothered about this person. So Dilip Kumar is not bothered about 100 people who are taking his autograph. He is bothered about this one gentleman who is reading a book with large specs and not bothered about him. This is human nature, no? Alexa doesn't behave like this now. Superiority of Alexa over us. Whether the whether the maid says Alexa or the Sahab madam says Alexa, Alexa responds. Egalitarian. But Dilip Kumar, after a long while he says to this person, he says, excuse me, I'm Dilip Kumar. So Mr. Tata puts his specs down, puts his book down, looks at him and says, okay, what do you do? Dilip Kumar says, I'm an actor. He says, okay. He puts on his specs, starts reading his book. Dilip Kumar is exasperated, pareshan. He says, sir, what do you do? Sir nikal gaya muh se. What do you do? He says, I'm JRD Tata. I run the Tata companies. Now, Dilip Kumar realizes here, however big you may become in life, there is always somebody superior to you. So be humble. Be humble. And there's another quote. Those who are at the top of the mountain, they didn't fall from the sky. How did they get there? All of you, how did you become principal? Did you fall from the sky? I said it in the beginning. You were a student one day. You were students one day. And when you were students, you never knew you were going to be principal. I was Deputy Commissioner of Panchkula. Just one more story before we come to the mainstream point again. You'll nod me at 25 minutes. So, not nod me, prod me. I went to my district. I was Deputy Commissioner, and I went to my district to a school. I said, how many of you want to become teachers? One lady, one girl, very sweet, wants to become a teacher. It was a girls' school. How many of you want to become teachers? Only one. How many of you want to become policemen, police officers? Doctors, engineers, this, that, everybody. The point being that teachers and educators, educationists are people who need to be role models. And they are. You are. So, what is missing here? What is the missing link in society? We are not giving the status and stature and importance to the principals and the teachers and the education family that they deserve. So I call myself an educationist of sorts now. I was director of school education once. I was director of this, that. Now I'm a teacher. I go and speak before teachers, principals, officers, whatever. I love it. I like it. I want to do more of this. There's nothing better than talking to an audience which is listening to you. But the point is that we have to elevate the status of educationists in this country. Everyone cannot be invited to this conference. There is a poor teacher teaching over there right now, or maybe in the morning, teaching. Nobody's looking at him. I remember once going for an inspection or something, and I found just walking into class, some teachers are just like this, government school. And one teacher, very diligent. And after a while, we are having tea. I don't know if you know what happens in a government school. So when the officers come to have tea in the principal's office, one of the teachers is serving the kajus. And it was the same teacher. I said to the principal, madam or headmaster, I said, what are you doing? She's teaching over there. And this was the best teacher in the school. And you are calling her to serve these. Not good. Go back. But what are we doing to elevate the status? That's not, you are not at fault. You are rather the ones who are being not victimized, but not elevated enough. So, technology is something which is there, but human qualities matter. Pedrevsky-like qualities matter. And leadership matters. And also we know that the best chemistry teacher need not become the best principal. The best English, Hindi, history, whatever teacher need not become the best principal. There are certain other qualities required, which nobody has taught you. You learned on the job. You learned on the job. What are those qualities that we require in order to provide that leadership? Now, whether she's a computer teacher or she's an English teacher or whatever, she's a human being. And we are leading whom? As heads, we are leading human beings. Resources can be led. Computers, procurement, chairs, furniture, books, whatever, library, everything can be done. But getting the best out of your team is still human qualities are required. You challenge Alexa to get the best out of her team. I doubt, I am making a prediction for the next 10,000 years. I can't see that happening. Dil kahan hai? Where is the heart? Where is the Josh? Where is the Sam Manekshaw type feeling? How many of you saw Sam Bahadur? Good. How many of you saw Animal? No, Animal, you raised your hand. Okay. That means you watched too many movies. You saw both. How many of you saw Oppenheimer? I'm not judging you. It's just a poll. Just a poll. Okay. Sam Bahadur. Who is the role model of India? We don't get into politics, please. I'm an former IAS officer. We don't talk about politics. But who is there? Who is inspiring the youth? Who is inspiring you? Somebody has to be there. Even as a senior person in life, we can still look up to somebody. We can still learn from spiritual figures, Mahatma Gandhi, Sam Bahadur, even from youngsters, young children who inspire us. So, technology should not scare us. We don't need to know what is technology, how is it working. We need to be good users. We need to be balanced leaders. We need to use technology to the extent that it is required. And we should be ensuring that our schools are AI-enabled, automated, etc. Why not? But we still need to have people skills. And our teachers need to teach with the heart and be role models. So can the teacher be a role model in the classroom? Can the country then change for the better? No, we UPSC aspirants, I mentor them at times, and they don't have the qualities we need. And they are successful. They have joined the service. Qualities of head and heart. Head is there, heart is not there. Can we create those people in the classrooms? So even today, with all the gadgets and all the gadgets at your disposal, and all the social media and all the homework going in this and that, can't you make out when someone has written something with ChatGPT? You get an application on ChatGPT, can't you make out? I mean, it is too perfect for words. There is no expression, it is just words. One IAS officer in our group, former, he never wrote like this before. Suddenly he's writing long messages. He says, sir, somebody said, somebody was bold enough, sir, aap ChatGPT use kar rahe hain. He didn't reply. So we have to not be scared, but we need to use it. I was director IT in government. We brought in government technology into government. E-Sampark, we started something. Not to be scared. People were scared of it. They were used to their old systems. But don't be. One more story. A youngster went to office and did not notice that the neighboring desk, neighboring workstation, the boy on the neighboring workstation has been sobbing the whole day. Sobbing, crying. This one is working. At 4 p.m. or so, finally he hears a louder sob. And even earlier may have been in the headphones, this, that. Who is he listening? Who is listening nowadays? Everybody is wearing headphones. You don't know who is he talking to. 4 p.m. he finds out that this person is weeping loudly now. He said, what is the matter with you? He said, you didn't ask me since morning. I've been feeling terrible, this happened, whatever happened. We don't go into that. So what is happening here is that our Gen Z is very comfortable with the gadgets and not talking to each other, not listening to each other, not empathizing with each other. They are too much into it. So everything is here because I can order a soda on my phone. The Blinkit guy will come before I blink. I was joking with my wife, she's from Shimla. I said, in Shimla it's so cold, you should call Blinkit blanket. But something has to be done about the Gen Z, which is Swiggy driven, Zomato driven, Amazon driven, and Blinkit and whatever, Zepto. So Instagram is their home. Gram is a village, no? Instagram. Gram as in home, village, hometown. They live on Instagram. Some of us also live on Instagram. And we will also be posting on Instagram, right? But the point is not to overuse something. And they are not able to talk to, after COVID, the problem has been exacerbated. They have become, I wouldn't say worse, but more into it. So our role as role models becomes paramount. He's given me the nod and the prod, right? So I'll close with a couple of thoughts. What do we need to do? There's no point talking about problems and stories if we don't have an action plan. And I often say that the minutes are more important than the meeting. And the action taken report is more important than the minutes, right? In government, I served for quite a few years. I know all about minutes and meetings. Once Mr. Jaspal Bhatti had a show, flop show, comedy. He had a show, he had an episode on why are meetings held, only to have samosas and to decide the date of the next meeting. These are the two reasons why meetings are held. But not so bad. So my two takeaways for you. Number one, don't be scared. Don't be scared even if the chip comes, your children will not be scared. One day grandchildren also will come, they also won't be scared at all. You don't be scared of technology. Let AI do what it wants. Let it dance in front of you. It doesn't matter. We need to retain a semblance of calmness and balance. That's the first part. Don't be scared. Number two, no harm in updating yourself, learning a little bit more about how to become a good utilizer, user. No harm in staying abreast with the latest. Reading. And one magazine to read for a general person, I would recommend even today, magazines are out of fashion now, but even digital content you can read, The Economist. Economist is not for economists. It's for everybody. It will tell you exactly where AI is going, what is the latest, what could have been done and what should have been done. And also, many of you are now in touch with Finland School and New Zealand, and I'm also in education, I know all these things. All these people will come, we are doing best practices, Fulana, you know. The point is, don't go overboard. Retain. What ultimately matters is the human being in the classroom and the person who is teaching. And the worst of the three stakeholders of education is the parent. And we are also parents, many of us, most of us. Some are young enough to not be parents. But the parents need to be spoken to. Nowadays, where I go, I speak to parents. I have that seniority to speak to parents. So I go and scold them. I even wrote a piece, parents, please take a chill pill. I wrote, chill pill. Take a chill pill. Don't be so. Overthinking is because of parents. All our youngsters, I went to IIT Madras to speak. IIT Madras, 4 suicides last year. Because they're overthinking. Quota, suicides. Even in Andhra, you have these institutions where there are staying in hostels, preparing for engineering, tension. It's like Mukherjee Nagar for UPSC. Yeah, factories. So I close here, but before you give me a round of applause, I want you to raise your hands if you want to ask. I know you are not yet ready for that, but think about a question or two. I would be very happy to hear a comment, or even without raising your hands. I realize you are principals, so I shouldn't ask you to raise your hands. You should just speak what comes from the heart. So before we close, anybody want to say anything? Yes, ma'am. Amitabh Bachchan. Yes.
I am Mrs. Jayashree from G. Polarity Memorial School. You were telling the last statement, what you said was, talk to parents. Yes, when we speak to parents, it's not that we don't speak to parents, but how far we can convince the parents to support the children.
No one can convince anyone.
Nor change their view, what the child is interested in doing.
So let's bring in spirituality in this discussion. To change anyone else, you have to change yourself. There's no doubt about it. Now, if whatever exemplary conduct you have, the parents should become your fans. They must be. And they're like, look at ma'am, look at her, look at teachers, look at them. And then the children, the parents listen to their children, right? In many ways. Like they go and tell their parents, ma'am has told us this, so even I took up a campaign for road safety. through children. Go and tell your parents to stop at the red light. Go and tell your parents to wear seat belts. They will listen to the children, right? So I think the parents need to be, they can't be convinced. We just need to keep prodding them. And I often say that parents also have to be role models in some way. You can't tell your children, do this, do this, do this. They will watch what you do as parents and they will follow you. Simple. You are telling lies to someone on the phone and you tell your children, don't lie. Let's be very brutal with parents that way. So we can't do anything actually. The answer is we can't do anything. Yes, ma'am.
For the statement you made, the worst stakeholder is the parent. I do not know if I want to agree with you or disagree with you, but
50% you're agreeable.
I don't want to make a remark
We agree
on
to
that.
disagree. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so there are times that they disagree with us, but it doesn't mean that they are wrong. We sometimes have to be empathetic. But like Jayashree ma'am has mentioned, it's not about convincing. It is about how to get them aligned with what the school believes, because obviously I cannot, or rather the school cannot get aligned with what they, because it's very difficult. There will be 1,000 visions and missions and that will not work. So yes, it is the same thing what Jayashree ma'am has. I'm not asking for how to convince, but why did you make that statement is my question to you.
So experience tells you that often nullified by what is happening at home.
Yes, agree.
If parents are impatient with each other, squabbling with each other, what are the children learning and how are they studying when the parents are fighting? So what is your conduct at home? So emotional intelligence is required by the parents. What do I say in front of my kids and what don't I say? They lose that and they take things for granted and they start behaving like buffoons. So we shouldn't do that. So parents, so I think even the minister, yeah, they're the best. I mean, teachers are also very good, but teachers and children are the best.
Student is the best stakeholder at the entire this thing revolves.
Students, I go from Himachal to Uti to where all I've been. Students are amazing. They're pure. They're, until they get vitiated, the mind gets vitiated by the world, they are just astoundingly good. They are fantastic. Yes, ma'am.
Of technology or AI,
Yeah.
how do we go about dispelling a lot of myth and fear that is generated around usage of AI? You know, very common is attack ho jayega, don't do this, attack ho jayega. Yesterday also, because of the outage, I think on Instagram there was a post saying biggest cyber attack ever. So how do we go about dispelling all these myths?
I think you should have dry runs. Have dry runs about cyber collapses. Like yesterday we saw a chart in the social media on whiteboard, somebody's written. Hardly anyone writes. When I have a pen in my hand, I feel, what is this thing? Again, after many years. So I think we should be prepared to use our brains, our minds, our hands a little more. So we need to make children prepare for life by not only using AI and doing a lot of problem solving and other activities without AI. I think that's the only way. And sports is a great thing to do. Even today when you have to kick a ball, there is no AI there. Tennis, you are running and you have to reach the ball and hit it. AI cannot help you much. And sports is very important. I must leave you with this thought. Those schools which are encouraging sports, even today, please encourage sports. I am a former under-19 cricketer. Sports has made my life much better than it could be. Schools are at the best place to scold the parents. Call them. Call them and say that, okay, we have the compulsory parents. No, parents orient. Call them. Say your children are not doing well. They will come running. And call them and call someone like me and Gaurav to scold them. Because if you do that, then they don't, they take you for granted. Yeah. Okay. I think I should stop. because he stood up now and he's also stood up. So, outstanding people. So, all the best and thank you very much. LinkedIn is a very professional network. Instagram is also okay because you are mature people, so it's fine. And I have a lot of reels for your students also, avoiding overthinking, what is success, how to handle failure. I make reels because they don't listen to me here, they listen to me here. And thank God you have listened to me here. Thank you.
I would request Varalakshmi ma'am, Director, Jubilee Hills Public School, to please come up and felicitate, sir.